With poppin' my popcorn enthusiast. My name is AK, and I'm going to go over the good, the bad, the Acolyte. Wow, that was definitely one of the best episodes we've gotten. Probably equal tied to like that episode 5 action episode, massacre, I guess you could call it. But this answered a lot of questions while also doing a great job at setting things up for future seasons or future shows. Um, One thing I'm going to be gushing about first off, this is a spoiler breakdown of the show as a whole, with the primary focus on the finale. Uh, but I gotta say, we got Darth Plagueis. Hell yes. Even though it was just for a brief second, him spying on Soul and not Soul, I do apologize, on Chimere and Osha, but fantastic. Seeing him, that made me like cheer. I was clapping. I was just very shocked to see him. And well, he's a Mun, so there is that. He is a Mun. That's cool to see. The Star Wars species, the Bankers. So that was kind of cool. Like just chilling in the cage, just watching. Um, and we got the first ever bleeding of a kyber crystal. So this is something that has been talked about briefly throughout the lore, the books, and the shows. Primarily like Clone Wars TV show. But whenever you start having the anger and the fear take over you as a whole, your lightsaber changes. That's one thing I wish Episode 3 did with Anakin's lightsaber. I was wishing it turned red. It did it here in the show, and seeing the bleeding of the kyber crystal was amazing, and the way it changed colors when she ignited it was perfect. Um, Very much like the video games, the Jedi Survivor. So I enjoyed watching that as well. Um, and these are all the goods. I should have labeled this here, but this is all the goods. Chimere and just his action sequence with Soul, that was a fantastic fight scene. That was just, like I said, the show, when it excels well. And seeing that fight scene with Chimere and Soul was fantastic. Seeing Soul has to do that jump, landing slow mo, just to block Chimere where he jumps in to strike, perfect. Um, Seeing Venestra hide everything from the Senate. She's hiding stuff, and she kind of makes a not so subtle reveal that she is the master of Chimere. She was Chimere's original master, and Chimere was the Padawan. And she said he turned dark, and that was interesting. I want to see where that goes, and I definitely was hoping to see an interaction between the two characters because those two characters I feel like would have a lot of history, and I want to see what the dynamic is or how he got the scars on his back. Obviously, it's from a lightsaber rip. I was just upset to see that she didn't use her lightsaber grip at all in this episode, but that's going to the negatives. I'm still focusing on the good. The music, fantastic. That chase scene in the space where Soul was chasing May, fantastic fight scene. Uh, that last tease with Yoda, amazing. Um, Watching the two sisters reconnect and their little fight they had was also really good. Um, and like I said, there was so much good in the show that episode 5 as a whole, fantastic. Episode 6, great. I thoroughly enjoyed a lot of the characters. The characters, like you have uh, Yord, you have Kaneka, you have the Mother Anastasia. Such cool, unique acolyte character, like shows characters we have not seen in the Star Wars universe. Characters that I kind of got attached to pretty quickly, like Yord and Jackie. Fantastic characters. Kanaka, even though we've only had him for a brief moment, he was fun to watch. Turbin, I felt bad for that guy. Andara, well done. Obviously, it is. You're not going to get much when you have Miss Matrix in there. I can't remember her name. Uh, Carrie Ann Moss. I do apologize. Like I said, the characters, the drama, and the past they had, fantastic. The art direction, the visuals, the cinematography, great. The music, fantastic. Um, and this is where the negatives will come. So now I'm going into the ugly parts of the Acolyte. The pacing was atrocious. 25-minute episodes, 30-minute episodes are not doing it for what the show wanted to be. Um, the first couple episodes start off pretty strong, in my opinion. But then you had that flashback scene, which was decent, but it just really didn't do anything. The pacing just felt so off, and I felt like it just didn't answer any questions, and just kind of left me confused on like what the point of the show was. But then, like I said, episode five brought everything together with the amazing fight sequence with Manager Santos Crimea and how he just massacred all the Jedi's and showing how powerful and tough he is. We still don't have a name for him. That's the nickname he went to with May Chimera. The show subtitles show says it as the Stranger, but I'm gonna keep calling him Chimera because it's a pretty cool name. But that's the negative. The pacing was just atrocious. It just baby stepped its way to the episode five amazing fight, and then it kind of baby stepped in episode six, and then it completely diverted in episode seven to go back to the flashback to retell the flashback scene, only for episode eight to finally pick the act back up, only for it to end. And I feel like if they wanted to do the show properly, it should have been a 10 episode, 45 to an hour long per episode, 10 episodes per season. Episode 1 to 3 could have been the setting up the characters, introducing you to all the Jedi who's going to eventually die in episode 5. Have more of the backstory on both, like, you can have the backstory on episode 3, but you got to strengthen the whole story of May and Osha. We still don't know what happened with May and Osha. Apparently, they're one person that was revealed in this episode, but it really wasn't addressed. And then Kanaka, like I said, she's such a cool character. You know, obviously we've had a couple Jedi Wookiees in the past. The Clone Wars Rebels and Bad Batch had one. I believe it was the same character. Can't remember his name, but you have a brand new, a master Jedi Wookiee, not a Padawan, a master. And he had an amazing fight scene when he was mind controlled. But that's all we saw of him. When we saw him finally in episode 2, he was just dead. Or episode 3, he was just dead. So I want to see more of him. Then that's the issue with these 30-minute episodes. They don't have enough time to flesh out all the characters. This is a pretty vast amount of characters in the show. And then even episode 5, there was like 6 more Jedis that just never were named, who were just killed. Which I feel like if they had built them up in episode 1 to 3, or 1 to 4, they could have had their deaths actually impacting you. Vanestra is another character that I'm going to have to give a negative to. Nothing against the actress. I think she did a perfectly fine job for what she was given, but she wasn't given anything to do. She sat around there commanding things, sat in Coruscant, and then finally when she took the call to the adventure and tried to see what happened, investigate it, she got to the planet and then left. She only didn't do anything. She had that cool scene where she killed one of the bugs with their lightsaber grip, and that's all we really see of Vanestra. And I know for the books, she's such a cool character, such an endearing, interesting fan favorite, or at least my favorite, one of my favorite characters of the book series. She was very unique, and I was really hoping to see more of her. So that's a big negative in my opinion. Another would be is the whole witch tribe. I love everything we've seen of them, their culture, the cult, their dialogue, but I just did not like of how quickly it was to get rid of them. Master Ndara tries to get into Kanaka's head to shut them off, and they just all died at once. Felt kind of eh. And then the end motivation with Osha turning on Master Soul. Osha first jokes and kills her master, but all because the master admitted to killing her mom. But she hasn't ever acted this irrational throughout the show. May was the irrational one, episode 1 to 4. Osha was very rational. Osha was always about friends, always about doing what she believes is right. And I feel like she had a little bit of that push. Oh no, that was May who wanted to take Soul to the Jedi Council and the Senate for a trial. That's something that Osha would have done, not May. And I felt like the two characters, even though they were very distinctive in the way they acted and the way they looked, Amandla Steinberg played her perfectly. Played both of them perfectly, but I just felt like at the end, motivation felt kind of weak. Another issue I had was there's a lot of just oddly placed moments, like the whole bug scene. The bug's the one who saved them all in episode 5, taking a Chimera, or the lightsaber whip with the bugs, or even that the little stiffer, the tracker. Why did he immediately go to team May and disrupt the ship on Soul and making him not be able to shoot her down? What was up with that one off senator who was not trusting Jedi's? I want to see more of him. Why does he not trust the Jedi's, and why does he want to launch an investigation on them? There was a lot that they could have stretched out and expanded on and explained if it was a full 10 episode, 45 to an hour long first episode. A lot of things just wouldn't have felt like it dragged. The story they told and everything we've gotten, they could have shrunk this down to a 5 episode show and then an hour each, and it would have been great. And I feel like it would have been a lot better. Though I think 10 episodes, an hour each, would have fleshed out the characters and would have actually made the story feel more alive. And honestly, I think that's where I would go. I mean, it ended perfectly, but it started shaky. And it started, when I say it started shaky, I'm not lying. It started very tough. It was very rough to watch. A lot of the plot points, the acting was just weird. But I'm telling you, when it comes to doing callbacks on old canon legends, or when it comes to set design, or when it comes to the actual action, fantastic. Like I said, this might be some of the best action we've gotten in a live action Star Wars project since the prequels. That's easily the highlight of the show. Overall, the show's now come to an end. I do rate episode 8 very high. I do think episode 8 was an easy 8 out of 10, 8.5 out of 10. Minor docs here for the characters, like the little gopher tracker guy, but and Minestra and all that messy detail. But the story, the characters, the dialogue in episode 8 was fantastic. The fight sequence was fantastic. Seeing Ocean May reconnect was fantastic. Oh, another negative. Did they have to write Osha's brain? Or May's brain? I do apologize, May's brain. Why was Osha so willing to join Team Crimea? She immediately said no in the beginning of the episode, and then the end of the episode, she immediately says yes. That kind of weird. Like I said, overall, 8.5 out of 10 this episode was. The season as a whole, because of the issues I laid out, and because of the issues I've had during the build-up of episode 8, but mixed with all the good that the show has done, I would give it like a 6. 6 out of 10. It's not as bad as Obi-Wan or Boba Fett show. It's nowhere near the level of Andor. It's very closely tied to Ashoka, which I think Ashoka would have been far better, an easy 8 out of 10 overall if it had better violent action. Action was very weak in that show. Other than that, the show itself was fun. But yeah, I definitely would say this was a middle of the run Star Wars project with some very interesting plot ideas and very interesting lore build and very cool action and characters. Now, I know it's been trending all day on Twitter. Hashtag we knew Acolyte Season 2. I gotta say, after the way they ended this episode with that, and I've been waiting on this one, Yoda. They showed Yoda at the last scene. When Nestor comes to talk to Yoda and the show ends. I'm sorry. We got Plagueis, we got Yoda, we got the stranger now teaching Osha the ways of the dark side. Yeah, I do want a season 2. I want to see where the story goes, and I want to see if they're able to continue the pace of episode 5 and episode 8. I wanted to see if they can redeem or rebuild the story and properly flesh out the characters next time around. And I gotta give Leslie Headland a lot of props. I know she's been criticized and dragged to the mud, unfortunately a lot of Star Wars creators do in this era and time we have. But I gotta give her a round of applause. She did. She built a very interesting and very unique world of mystery while building it upon a already known story or universe. So she added so much to this universe, and she definitely has a great mindset for the Star Wars universe. You can tell she understands Star Wars and she understands the lore and the history and the legends. I'm really hoping, though, perhaps next season she has a couple better writers attached to the team, somebody who's able to take her ideas and flesh it out and properly write the show. Like I said, overall, 6.5 show. Not horrible, not the best, but definitely when it hits hard. That's gonna be all here for me. Drop a like, comment. Let me know below. What did you think about the show? Do you agree with me? Do you have some issues with the show? Let me know. I'll catch you on the flip. Thanks.